Hi Ananth, can you introduce yourself please?
Hi, I'm Ananth Karanam, and I'm from the US.
Why are you here?
I'm here as a part of the medical program, and I came because I'm very interested in medicine, and I got the wonderful opportunity here to visit one of the hospitals and actually shadow the doctors and see what they do and compare it to medical programs in the United States.
Thank you. Could you tell me how was the local ABV coordinator staff and the support provided in country?
They were very helpful, especially I remember one circumstance where something didn't work out. I don't remember exactly, but I called the US emergency ABV number, and they were very helpful in terms of guiding me through the process. And this is a fairly new thing to me because I've been outside of the United States, but I haven't been for specific programs. I've only gone on vacation with all of my family. And so coming here with just my dad and being in a new place that I've never been to before, which is Jaipur, I found it very helpful that the whole staff was very accommodating. And as soon as I came in, they gave me a wonderful tour of the area, told me or laid down some strict ground rules, and I found that to be very helpful throughout my experience here.
What was the most surprising thing you experienced?
I actually got the rare opportunity of visiting a government hospital, and these government hospitals, they're huge. And the hospital I volunteered at normally was a private hospital, but luckily I was able to visit the government one, and it was flooded with patients. I mean, there was one doctor, and I think there were about 150 patients, and he said he worked from 6:30 in the morning to 11 in the afternoon, or 11 in the evening, which is shocking and surprising. And I was bewildered by the amount of patients and how much dedication it takes to work there. So that was definitely the most surprising thing for me.
Thank you. What was the most challenging thing you experienced, maybe with your program, with your accommodation, with the country?
I'm of Indian heritage, and my parents were both born in India, but I don't speak the local language here in Jaipur, which is Hindi, and so the language barrier proved to be very difficult. The way I traveled to the hospital was through Uber, and most of the Uber drivers, except one, all of them spoke Hindi and no English. So if they asked me a question, I would have to say that in Hindi that I don't understand Hindi, which can be very confusing. And in the hospital, luckily, I had a coordinator, Tarun, who was able to help me with translation. And the doctors there knew basic English, so I was able to communicate with them effectively. So the language barrier was definitely the most challenging thing I experienced.
Any tips for future volunteers?
Be prepared for the heat. It's very, very, very hot and humid. Pack a lot of clothes because I only stayed for 2 weeks, but I still had to wash my clothes, and so I would bring extra clothes for sure, because you never know how dirty it gets. Other tips?
For travel, for personal items?
Bring deodorant, shampoo, soap, a lot of cleaning items, because you're gonna sweat a lot, and those are the most essential things to bring. I'm so glad I brought shampoo and deodorant and all that stuff. And one last tip that's very important, I would shower a lot. I showered, I think, twice a day, every single day I was here. And one time I didn't, it was horrible. And yeah, so I shower once in the morning, once in the evening. Those are also essential things to do.
How was your experience overall with ABV program?
I really enjoyed it because I'm from the US, as I said before, and the rules there are so strict in terms of shadowing and volunteering. And so I actually applied to volunteer there, and if you're under 18, the only things you can do are get patients water and clean their beds, which as a future medical student isn't very exciting. But I came here, I researched this program, and I was able to visit multiple places, not just one hospital. Two hospitals, and a clinic in the slums. And there I was actually able to interact with the patients, which they don't allow in the US. And I was also able to, it was a more hands-on experience, which is what I wanted. And after researching for 2 years, I was able to find this program, and I really, really enjoyed it. I made a lot of new friends, I visited a lot of new places that if I had come just for vacation, and I would never have found before. And so overall, I think it was a really great experience.
How would you describe your accommodation, meals, friendliness, quality?
It was all very optimal. I mean, the place initially I thought in such a hot city that there wouldn't be AC because that's fairly common in most of India. But there are fans running all the time, and in terms of heat, I was able to combat that very well. And accommodations, the staff is very nice. The beds and the blankets you won't really need blankets, it's 100 degrees. But everything I think was set up nicely in terms of accommodating the patients, or not the patients, sorry, I'm medical thinking, the volunteers and what they needed.
Thank you. And what was your favorite memory of this trip?
So when I came, there was only one volunteer here, and his name was Elias from Finland. And so we got to know each other pretty well, and about halfway through my experience, we took walks every day, and we would always walk down and to the right, and there's this path we followed. We'd go that way, and then we'd get soda and water, because you need water here, and we'd walk back, and so it would be like a 20 to 30 minute walk, but that was definitely a memory I'll cherish.
How was the ABVUS support prior to traveling?
They answered a lot of my questions. As I said before, I've never been in a program like this. I've only visited other places for leisure. And so when I came to a place like this, they were very helpful. But if I had any problems, they would always answer them. And they were always available through WhatsApp, which is very helpful.
Thank you so much, Ananth, for being here with us.
Thank you for accommodating me.
Have a safe flight.
Yeah.